on 16th. So we want to see the contribution of the field schools or the pastoral field school, APFS, to the attainment of the World Food Day objectives. So we have 3 presenters today. They'll be short. We will start with Mohammed Mohammed. Mohammed is a master trainer based in Mandera. He was trained under the FAO IGAD Cross-Border Partnership Program, and they've been managing field schools within the Mandera Triangle in Ethiopia, in Somaliland, in Somalia, and also in Kenya. And then from Mohammed, we will go to Jennifer Hire. Jennifer Hire Baluka is a Ugandan master trainer with a lot of experience in West Africa. So she'll be sharing with us the lessons from West Africa and also within the region. Then finally, we will finish with Mr. Oscar Ngasi. Oscar Ngasi is also a master trainer with the RPLRP project, the World Bank funded project in Kenya. He will also be talking about experimentation and the impact so far. So I will urge you to get ready for great teaching. As usual, if you're not presenting, mute your microphone, mute your camera. If you have anything you want to raise, probably either raise up your hand or you put it in the chat box. And from there, we can be able to respond to you. And let's, on behalf of Max, he's going to be joining us lately. He's having another meeting with the FAO Uganda team. So he'll be joining us along the way. So I will give this opportunity to Mohammed to start us off. Thank you so much. So for the rest of us, let us mute our microphones and we allow Mohammed the space that he really desires. Thank you. Mohammed, unmute and take over.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
You can put on your video. You can put on your video just for a minute. They see your face, and then you will switch off your video when sharing the screen.
Okay, I'm Mohammed Mahmoud from Mandera. I'm a physical master trainer. Before I start, I would like to say hi to everybody, and especially Dr. Mutungi, who's also my mentor. I'm very happy to see you, Daktari. And the rest, I would like to welcome you to this Zoom meeting.
Okay. Thank you. So you can now disconnect your video. Let me share your presentation. So can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
So you're good to go.
So welcome everybody. Mohammed is a field school master trainer, trained by under the program IGAD FAO Partnership Program on Drought Resilience. We were 3 of us. We were taken to Somaliland under the IGAD FAO Partnership Program on Drought Resilience in between November 2016 and February 2017. We graduated in February 2017, February 28th, 2017 in Sheikh, Somaliland. After graduation, we came back home and we have been in this field school program. We have been implementing the field school in the 3. We have been implementing the field school from 2017 to date. So today I would like to share with you what field schools, the agro-pastoral field school is doing in the Mandera County. And as you can see, our topic here is the agro-pastoral field school contribution to increasing resilience of the pastoral communities against drought in Mandera County, that is northeastern Kenya. So in Mandera County is one of the arid and semi-arid regions of Kenya, and our main problem is drought. So the agro-pastoral communities in this area face severe shortage for their livestock, and there is high vulnerability to recurrent drought. Every time the rainy season comes, our rains are normally not enough, and our community here is pastoralist. So we also have our rangelands degraded, and there's reduced access to traditional grazing lands. So during the dry spell, pastoral community suffers from food and nutrition insecurity and reduced income due to livestock loss and reduced livestock production. So the community here are faced with a lot of challenges whenever there's drought. So APFS came, so Mandera County is part of the cross-border region, that is Somalia and Ethiopia, with lands that are semi-arid. On all these cross-border sites, there's pastoralists. In the Somalia side, we live the Somalians. In the Ethiopia side, we have the Somali Ethiopians, and the Kenya side, we have the Somali Kenyans. So we are all pastoralists. So we are faced by the same challenges, and this program has came particularly to solve those challenges. So due to the recurrent drought leading to regression of rainland and reduced access to additional grazing land. So Mandera has also the same problem about the triangle. We talk about the triangle, the Somalia part of Dolo, the Ethiopia part of Dolo, Ado, and then Mandera. This is the triangle we've been talking about. Thank you. Continue. So when we have started the program we have started to form agro-pastoral field schools in this area. And one of the focal enterprise they have selected, the focal enterprise from the problem analysis we did, one of the focal enterprise they came up with is fodder production. So we decided to make sure that the communities here learn how to produce fodder. And as we can see, fodder, like any other crop, can be grown, it can be nurtured, and also stored for use in times of need. That is during the drought spells. The project has helped the pastoral communities in Mandera in bulking fodder. They have bulk fodder as hay. They have also bulk fodder as seeds. In Mandera, this is the approaches we have done. The approach is through experiential learning. That is the learning by doing. Hands-on learning on how to produce, manage, and utilize fodder is undertaken through the agro-pastoral field school. This is where we say that the school without walls. Where a group of 25 farmers were engaged in the experiential and participatory learning during the enterprise growth season. We have formed a total of 10 groups here doing different enterprises. So, but today we want to measure on the fodder production, which has helped largely the pastoral communities here in improving the production of their livelihoods. We continue. These activities, as I said, is part of the IGAD Power Partnership Program on Drought Resilience, implemented since 2016. It was partnered with the ACTED Kenya and also the Mandera County government, where I work. The program is also funded by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, SDC. So we have the learning activities now, the phases in field school, the production phase, the implementation phase, and also the post-graduation phase. So here in the pastoral field school, participants have learned all the phases of feed production and also preservation. They have learned how to prepare the land, plant, water it either by rain or irrigation, because we also have Dawa River here, which provides water for irrigation. Although it is a seasonal river, sometimes it dries up. So our farmers also sometimes they practice subsistence farming through irrigation. The communities here observe growth from the day of sowing up to when they harvest and they store fodder through the ecosystem analysis, that's the ISA. They harvest and preserve pasture. They preserve and store hay. The field school enterprise learning cycle takes 4 months to complete, and also can be undertaken to match the rainy season because our area here is dry. Sometimes the field school will take long for the communities here to graduate. So this is the picture that is showing the communities. They are preparing land. They are doing land preparation. They are participating. You can see women, youth, and also men participating in this group. This is under the IGAD FAO Partnership Program. As you can see, they're preparing land now. So learning by experimentation. Our learning was by experimentation, but where we did the comparative experimentation. In the comparative experimentation, we did three trials where we treated differently. We treated one with fertilizer, that is DAP. The other field we left it as a control experiment, and the other one we put manure. That is just our normal manure. But we also gave them the same watering intervals. During the different stages, participants can observe how the additions, they used to observe how the additions of manure and fertilizer result in higher production. As they observe, analyze, discuss, through innovation and problem solving are encouraged. Participants are also introduced to new knowledge of how to improve breeding and animal husbandry practices. During the classes, when they have the classes, the communities are put into different groups, the different host teams, and then whenever there was a special topic, the topic of the day, they were also introduced to how to improve their breeds. Yes, this is our pasture experimentation field. Yeah, this field, they put only manure. As you can see, it is with there's one field with manure. This one they have put DAP fertilizer. And there's another field that they have put without. It is without, meaning this one is a control experiment. It is helping us control between the fertilizer, the commercial fertilizer, and the manure, which one does best in production of Sudan grass. This is our fodder experimentation field. Yeah, this is our fodder experimentation field. The field with the fertilizer, the one with the manure, and the one without that. We put it as a control experiment where the community learn how to produce. Yeah, this is the field. As you can see, this is where the school is. There's the register. Those manilas are used for taking ISS and the like. So this project involved women and youth into the production circle, where the women and youth also learn through hands-on experience. As you know, the Somali communities are very conservative community, where women are not involved in much of the activities. But when this school came, women also joined the group and participated. They appreciated the activities. In this field school, men, women, and youth participated in the entire process from seed selection, sowing, monitoring growth, harvesting, baling, and storage. We said in Mandera, this has helped women to overcome traditional barriers for getting involved in such tasks. They never used to involve in such tasks before. It is only kazi ya wanaume. Women and youth have benefited from the experimentation as well as the whole learning process, since initially they were not part of the decision making in the community. As you can see, women are participating in the baling of the seed. This is where they have harvested. After harvesting the seed, they have started to bale it. Women, men, and youth are participating in baling. Now this is after harvest. That photo shows that. Yeah, you can still see. This is men, women, and youth participating in filling the ISA sheet. So you can see there, this is a one host team. They're filling the ISA sheets. Our field school now is in progress. People are presenting the ISAs. You can see women are also participating in presentation of ISAs.
Beautiful.
Yes. Presenting also. This is the ISA sheet of the GRISA APFS group, Agro-Pastoral Field School group. Yeah. This is for the harvesting. This is now after doing the experimentation, now they are harvesting fodder. As you can see, the GRISA APFS group is also harvesting fodder. This is the harvested field, so it is left for regeneration. Now it will be irrigated and it will regenerate. Yes, you can see this. Yes, this is the same picture, the baling. Yes, you can see as the women and men are participating in doing the baling for the seeds, for the hay. This is one of the testimonies we got from the woman in the group. She's the vice chair of the GRISA APFS group. This is what she said. Women and youth benefited from the experimentation as well as the whole learning process, since at first they're not part of the decision making. With the invention of the APFS, both female and youth are integrated and they learned how to do things on their own. And also to do a comparative experiment as well as taking ISA. With APFS, we are able to produce fodder, bale, and now we are no longer dependent on our men for the most of our upkeeps. Before, here in Mandera, we only know that men do the farming activities and women are left at home. But now they are not even, they are part of parcel of the production. With the knowledge of fodder production, we have replicated and tried it in our farms, which perfectly did well and improved our production. This has positively impacted on living standards. This is Shantarai Mohammed, is a vice chair at GRISA APFS group. So this, now everybody, the 25 members have replicated this in their farms, and now they are producing fodder and baling it. With the support from IGAD, they got also a hay store. Hay store was built for them, and now currently they're putting the fodder they have harvested in the hay stores. Thank you. Any question, comments?
Well, thank you, Mohammed, for that wonderful presentation. And
Yes.
you can be sure we will borrow all these pictures and they'll be on our website somewhere as we
Yes.
commemorate the World Food Day.
Thank you very much.
I will ask the members to maybe post their questions in the chat box so that we can continue. But I'm seeing Daniel Baha. Baha, it will have been good. We have a continuous flow and then questions at the end. Or what do you what will you opt for?
No problem, so long as we are guided and there is time for those questions.
Great.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're going to forget, put it in the chat box. Is that
no,
okay?
Not really.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you. So the next presenter is Madam Jennifer Hire. Madam Jennifer Hire is a master trainer from Uganda. So kindly unmute yourself, Madam, and proceed.
Thank you very much. I hope
we need
I'm
to see
loud
your
and...
face properly. Adjust your camera. You only see the forehead, yeah.
Okay. I hope you can see me now. Is that okay?
That is okay.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the team and the organizers for giving me the opportunity to share information and what I have. Actually, I'm very, very, very grateful because I needed to download. My head has got a lot of things on farmer field schools and I didn't know where to put them. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. Can I now remove the Zoom?
Yeah, remove your video, then I share your screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I go ahead?
1 minute, 1 minute. Please proceed.
Thank you very much. So this is a case of agriculture economic growth through farmer field schools. This is just a glance that I want to share with you. And let's just move to the next slide. In West Africa. My name is Ahire Jennifer, Master Trainer of the Hub. I don't know if we've missed out a slide. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, yes, now you're moving well. So, I've been working in West Africa, but before going to West Africa, my humble beginning was in Uganda, and that was in Soroti, and that was in 1999. I had an opportunity to interact with Pastor Wilson Oduori and Edwin and Godric Kiza. So I started with the farmer field schools in Uganda. That was in Soroti. We went to do potato farmer field schools with Max. And then I went ahead to do even banana farmer field schools. And when they saw that we were doing well, the visitors said they wanted to borrow what Uganda was doing. And that is how I found my way to West Africa. Now, in West Africa, I've had an opportunity to work and support farmer field schools in Sierra Leone, Ghana, Liberia, Senegal, and the Gambia. But my last assignment, that was last year, was in Gambia. So I was thinking, the time given, I cannot share everything about the other places where I went. So I'll just use Gambia. Now, on the slide, you'll see that is the map of Gambia. So I want you to have an idea of what I'm talking about. It's like a shoe, if you look at the map. And one of the things I'm going to do in my presentation is to share the good aspects that they have that we can borrow in East Africa, and also let you know the good things in East Africa that they have borrowed from us. Already remember when they came to visit the farmer field schools in East Africa, they were impressed, and that is how they hijacked me or borrowed me to go and support them. Now, I need to point out something about the networking on WhatsApp. If you see, I've put there the youth farmer field schools. What is happening in the Gambia right now is that the country as it is, the farmer field schools have a WhatsApp network or a forum. What we are doing, they started it some 1 year ago, and they have been linking up. I am here, but I follow up everything that is happening in Gambia. So they do it in the local language, they use the pictures, and this is very good in line with COVID that is with us right now. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So that is an example of the youth, the ones I trained last year. You can see they are in orange. That is an indicator of the potato orange flavor. So they decided to wear the orange t-shirts. So what is happening in the Gambia, because it is not very far away from Europe, the youths tend to cross and go over to look for greener pastures. So the government, together with FAO and the donors, they said we have to support the youths so that they stay in the country, they can produce, they don't have to cross on those dangerous waters to go to Europe. Next slide. Any project has an objective, and the objective was training of farmer field school on the methodology and refresher training on the existing farmer field schools. The tasks and activities was first to conduct the training needs assessment, just like we are going to do with the East African Farmer Field School Hub, the new appointment that we masters trainers have, because we needed to find out what they wanted to learn, what was the gap. And then also we needed to identify the participants who would participate in the farmer field schools. And then in doing that, we also kept in mind that we don't come from nowhere. Already there is a curriculum. So what they identify, we put it inside the existing curriculum. So then the second activity was to conduct the TOT, and the third one was a refresher for the already existing farmer field schools and do a SWOT analysis. Now, those ladies you see there in the training needs assessment, it was agreed, or the system that was used is you go to a community and then you tell them to identify a farmer who will come back after being trained to come back and train them. The farmers whom they identify should be able to know that they are doing voluntary work, they should be committed, and they should be real farmers. So one of the things we did was to identify the people whom would train as participants, who would come back and train them. So those ladies you see there, that is one of the meetings that we held. They select people, they say, for us, we trust Mr. X. You go and train him. After training him, he'll come and train us. Now, on the output, you can see 64 participants were identified and trained. Now, how does this happen when you see 64? This is something which we can borrow. Of course, in a meeting, Farmer Field School, we say, if you are to bring many people, maybe you should have 30. You don't go beyond 25. But when things are bad, you can take 30. So that is what we are doing. You take 30, you train them for 1 week. They go and do what they have learned. They also go and establish farmer field schools for 1 week. Then they come back, and when they are in the field, you are training another batch of 30. You train them, and then these 30 whom you train, they also go back, and then the other 30 come. So it is, I'll call it zigzag, and it involves a lot of work. So that is what was happening. And we also have the 75 facilitators who we gave a refresher, and on rice, maize, groundnuts, and FFS methodology. Next. The work we did, you can now see the output. You can see the minister, honorable minister, visiting the farmer field school stalls. Those onions were grown by the farmer field school farmers. Next. That one is also, the lady in blue is the coordinator. She's part of our hub, by the way. And then she was sharing with one of the officers. This is a product of the Farmer Field School. Now they have strength in the Farmer Field Schools. Farmer Field Schools in West Africa has generally reduced the workload of extension workers because the extension workers, just like in East Africa, they are very few. So we beef up by bringing in these people whom we train in the Farmer Field Schools. And then the health has improved because with increased production, when people become more healthy, then there is savings as an activity as well. Next slide, please. Those are proud farmers. Organic, onions produced organically. So you can see that is part of the success story. Next. So this is another leaf to borrow. Those are farmers and facilitators because we are training farmers and also facilitators. But we are saying in the Farmer Field School, it is not grow like this, grow like this, grow like this only. There is also sports. So we would play sports. Maybe like you say, the people from Western region are going to play football against the farmers from Eastern region, such that people are not bored. Because Farmer Field Schools are there to stay and they should be happy. So those were farmers playing football. So I thought I could share with you this part of it. Then this is again, part of the trade fair, FFS product. Next. Farmer Field School, one other thing which we can borrow is teamwork. We are already doing it, but we need to strengthen it. You can see those two ladies, the lady and the gentleman, they are really thinking and planning. Those are top people in FAO in the Gambia. This lady has been acting as the FAO rep and that gentleman. So they sit and plan. They say, what can we do? What do we do to help our farmers? So teamwork is very necessary and planning. There are also some weaknesses. For example, as you know, Gambia is in the Sahel. So there is inadequate water, poor fencing, poor marketing, pests and diseases, and also poor record keeping. And then the opportunities. Facilitators are now operating as seed growers. And one thing which, a leaf which we can borrow from the Gambia is these facilitators whom we trained as farmers, eventually the government of Gambia took them up. There is a title they have given them. They are not actually officers as such, agriculture officers, but there's a position they have given them such that they get a monthly salary and they are like, they are working for the Ministry of Agriculture. So, and they were even given motorbikes. So it is something we can borrow. And then there is cooperation between Ministry of Agriculture, FAO, and NGOs and local leaders, giving an enabling environment for the running of the Farmer Field Schools. Because and then the organic products which FFS produce are marketable and good for domestic and for export. So there are threats like everywhere. We have this climate change which is with us. There is erratic rainfall, unexpected flooding and unreliable weather. Sustainability of the program is still a problem. Pests and diseases, fall armyworm, that one is there, especially for the maize in all the countries, spider mite, and then COVID. And then aflatoxins. One thing I want to share with you about the aflatoxins is in the Gambia especially, they grow a lot of groundnuts. Now what happens, which is not very good, is that us the ladies, we pick out those ones which are about rotten, almost not good, where molds have started growing. Those are the ones we take to grind and we sell as OD. And the gentlemen enjoy eating. They don't know, and it is not healthy at all. So it is something which we've got to share. Next. The recommendation by then was establishing of database where all FFS information can be obtained. That should be promoted. In fact, we need to do that for the hub as well. I'm glad already management in hub is doing it. NGOs should draw a work plan which should be shared with focal persons and the coordinator. That is a leaf which we should buy. And then with regards inadequate water, it was suggested at that time that the Ministry of Agriculture should send an expert to verify and give a report so that it can be sorted out. Next slide, please. And then the Ministry of Agriculture was also requested to partner and provide support to the Agricultural Farmer Training Center. By then in the Gambia, the training centers were not doing very well. So it was a necessity. Promote management of aflatoxin through step-down training, and then establishment of cooperative society federation should be promoted for FFS groups. Now, that lady you see there, she, by last year, she was the FAO rep. Right now, she's the FAO rep in Central African Republic. Through teamwork, that is why we were able to achieve what we did achieve. And I'm not going on gender, but maybe because she was a lady and I was a lady and the coordinator was also a lady, things moved very well in the Gambia. Next slide, please. Next slide. This one, I just put it there. I just wanted to share with you. And it says, where there is a will, there is a way. That bridge you see there was not reliable. In fact, we had to leave the vehicle so that you walk carefully, so that you don't land inside the water when you are inside the vehicle. This one is, by the way, was in Liberia. But what do we learn from this? That where there is a will, there is a way. Us as the hub, once we are committed, we shall be able to get there. There is nothing which is impossible. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Jennifer, for those wonderful inspirational words. I believe we are taking down notes, and you should start posting your questions in the chat box. So in the next 10 minutes, let's allow Oscar Ngassi to finalize with experimentation. So Oscar Ngassi, unmute yourself, we see you, and then you start over. Oscar, can you hear me? Hello. Oscar. Wow, can you hear us? Oscar, can you hear us? Wow, you're in trouble now. So members, what do we do? Maybe while we wait for Oscar to get ready. Oscar, there's too much noise in the background.
I think you open the discussion while you mute him for 5 minutes, then see whether we can get back to him.
Okay. So members, for those two presentations, can we have your questions, comments, and even take homes? Maybe you can raise your hand or put it in the chat box. Let's start with Bahanguma. Unmute yourself and proceed.
Thank you very much, Edwin. Thank you very much, colleagues. A very good morning to all of us. Many thanks for the wonderful presentations from the two colleagues, Mohammed and Madame Jennifer. I have two questions to each of the presenters. Edwin, guide me. Do I shoot?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I will start with questions to Mohammed. In the context of ensuring food security, I would wish to know, in his opinion, how much have the farmers moved from subsistence to commercial production? At the end of the day, our interest is to see food and nutrition security. Has the FFS training translated to that from subsistence to commercial? Then two, the core issue apparently in Mohammed's area of work is drought. And I'm wondering how much have they borrowed from CMDRR, Community Managed Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy, into the FFS training and learning. And finally, to Mohammed, as a facilitator, does he have any capacity gaps or ability gaps in terms of his own area of specialization and more specifically on the methodology?
Right. Those are, you had said two questions to Mohammed, two questions to Jennifer. Now those are three questions.
So now I can go to Jennifer if I'm allowed.
Okay.
Madam Jennifer, the first quick one is, for the 64 participants, the facilitators that you trained, may you come out clear how long was the training, the learning content, especially in regard to the weaknesses which you have mentioned, which I thought maybe from where I see it will have been taken care of during the training. And then the last one is, the facilitators seem to have gained a lot of recognition from government to an extent that they are even given motorbikes for mobility. How far has institutionalization of field schools in far as extension advisory services in the Gambia has been done? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other hand I can see in the chat box from Dr. Esther Mwindi. Which approaches did you apply to ensure sustainability of the FFS groups after your exit, and how is the current progress? So this will be to both of them. I hope you are taking notes. Then Peter Gitika, and take the floor, unmute yourself and raise your question.
Thank you very much, Edwin. And thank you very much for the two good presentations from Jennifer and from Mohammed. I have one question to Jennifer because there's something which has come out very interesting about the recognition by the government about the Gambia. And I don't know at what level those advisory services are used at the country, whether it is at the local level. And the other issue is that the Gambia is very close to Europe, as you said. So young people normally go through the sea to Europe to get greener pastures. And we are trying to address that issue by promoting the FFS, more encouraging the youth and women to participate in that. How is the issue of marketing of those products they are doing, particularly to those European countries? Do we have that issue of marketing what they have produced across the ocean? And then the last one, Edwin to Mohammed, is a very good presentation. And I could see very good fodders and pastures within that place where we have the agro-pastoral schools. My question is whether that one is within a river belt or they're using irrigation, or what are the sources of water to really come up with such a very good pasture or fodder for the animals. Thank you.
Thank you. Last question before we go to the presenters. Nathan. Nathan, unmute yourself and ask
Thank
your
you.
question.
My question. Yes, thank you so much, Edwin. My question goes to thank you for the whole question. I think Gika has asked the question I to ask. One is in terms of the impact. How are these
Nathan is breaking up.
You are breaking up, boss.
Nathan,
you are
on the
breaking
life
up.
of the farmers? Are you getting? Are you getting me?
No. You're not very clear.
There's some distortion.
Let me just type. Let me type the question.
Okay.
Let me type the question.
Okay. Put it in the chat box, please. Thank you. So let's go to Mohammed. Mohammed, you have how many questions? Movement from subsistence to commercial. How have you integrated CMDRR and sources of water? Please respond.
Okay, let me respond to Mr. Baha. On the issue, let me start with the issue of CMDRR. We have incorporated the CMDRR into the field school. Before even the start of the program, there was a CMDRR training for the community around, and there was the formation of CMDRR committees. So the CMDRR committee is now in place and they have been trained. On the issue of improving food security, you know, this is the beginning. We are training our farmers, we are facilitating them in replicating what they learned in the field school in their own farms. They have now tried to, the 25 of them, as I have said earlier, are now replicating what they have learned in the field schools in their own farms. And then we believe this has improved the food security in one way or the other, because improved production, once the livestock get feed, that means their production is already high. And our community here, they are highly dependent on livestock. And so there's improved in terms of meat and also milk. So food security will be achieved. On the issue of gaps, I think I'm a master trainer. I was trained and I've been facilitating field school. I've been mentoring and also doing technical backstopping for community facilitators and also field school facilitators around. And I don't think there's much gap on my technical aspect, and also a field school master trainer. At the same time, I am a graduate and also currently pursuing a master's in agriculture and rural development. Thank you. On the second question on Mr. Gitika, I think I heard you very well. whether we are irrigating or we depend on rain, we have River Dawa, which we use for irrigation, although sometimes it floods and sometimes it dries. It goes for 9 months and then dries for around 4 months. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. The issue of the capacity for FFS trainers in that community, how many have been trained, and to what extent are they practicing the approach?
The FFS facilitators.
Yes.
I think I do very well. The FFS facilitators. They were trained. There are 10 of them.
Okay.
We have 5 project sites, 2 FFS facilitators per site. They have been trained for 26 days TOF training, and then since then they have also been taken to other areas where field school is doing good. They've been taken to Kitui, they've been taken to Narok, they've been taken to Embu as well. So
okay.
That's, yes, for an exchange visit.
Thank you. While you are catching up some breath, there are a lot of questions in the chat box. We just go through them. Let's go to Jennifer, then we come back to you. Jennifer, madam.
Okay.
Learning content.
Yes. So
institutionalization and sustainability.
there was a question on the content.
How did you do this training? How long?
How long? The question, how long did you do the training? I will modify it a bit, because the how long did I do the training, it is better to say how long did the training take? Because yes, I was with them for 2 months, but it doesn't mean that when I finished the 2 months, that was the end of the training. It continued, because remember, farmer field schools are season long. And sometimes, especially in the Gambia, we allow them to go through 2 seasons because the weather is not reliable. And then the crops normally take a short period of maybe 2 months. So I will say, to respond to that, it was, yes, at the training center, you can call it zigzag for 2 months, but after the training center, they go and run the farmer field schools, and before they graduate them, when they are running them, it is part of the training. Just like you can have teachers going for practicals, it is also part of the training. When they graduate the first farmer field schools, that is when we say maybe they have completed what? Their training. So to put it bluntly, I'll say 6 months.
Okay.
And about the content of the farmer field schools, maybe I'll let you know, they started in the Gambia in 2004. So this is 2020. There is a curriculum which is used when farmer field schools are being run. It is not only FAO, there are also other NGOs that manage the farmer field schools. So what that content, what we have in the curriculum is not static. We keep changing depending on the need of the farmers and what is happening in the region. For example, I'll let you know that the hot cake now is climate smart. People, it has to be included in the curriculum. For example, you cannot leave out COVID because it is a key issue. So the curriculum is not static. You modify it according to the need. That is why tool number 1, which you have to do, is needs assessment. You can do focus. We did focus group discussion and came out with topics that should be covered. And when we get these topics, we don't take all of them. We prioritize because you cannot cover everything. Okay, that is for that question. Number 2, there was a question that 75 facilitators gained support from the government. I mean, some of them, and they got motorbikes. Yes, because through experience, and many people have noticed, actually, you find that when farmers are running farmer field schools, those schools perform better than schools that are run by agricultural extension officers. Sometimes people go to the extent of saying people with PhDs and degrees are overqualified for the farmers. So I think Gambia was able to see, because you could go to the field and you see what is on the ground. So they said, what can we do? So, and considering that with regards to education, Gambia is not doing very well, so they have very few extension workers in the field. It was necessary to fill that gap and use these farmers, and they are doing very well. Then there was a question on marketing. I think in one of the slides you saw the trade fair. So the project encouraged these farmers to go in for the trade fair, bring your produce, compete, open market. Like you have in Uganda, buy Uganda, sell Uganda. Start with yourself before you start thinking of Europe. Because if you go in the countryside, like us field workers, you'll find the people are not very healthy. Start with yourself. Then, fortunately, we have Senegal and those other countries. You might already know that one of the sources that brings Gambia money is the tourism. So you have whites flooding in that country, and it's ready market, because hotels, there are too many in the Gambia. So they support that. And now sustainability, I think I mentioned that already we have, I'll even call it a hub. These farmers are working together. They have an association. They already communicate. In fact, there's a button whereby they speak in their local language and they are working together. Already, teamwork is something which is supporting them. 2, they have savings which they are using to help them move forward. So, and then the women, they are on board. They are also there working, and the projects are moving. And like that lady, the one I showed you who was the rep, she could not sleep. Day and night, she's writing projects. They are writing projects, looking for money, such that they use the little they have and they still look for more. Thank you. I think I'll stop there for now. Thank you. Is anybody there?
We're here, Jennifer.
Sorry, we've muted ourselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have been following.
Now, there's another question in the chat box. Jennifer, you'll go through it again. There's the issue of institutionalization that I think you'll still have to come back to it. But there are now questions for Mohammed. One is on which approach to ensure sustainability of the FFS groups after your exit and the current progress. That is from Mohammed. And another one is on the market, to Mohammed again. How is the integration of other service providers, veterinary, market, input providers in the FFS? How is that integration managed? And then thirdly, Is the hay produced for sale? If so, how do the farmers ensure that there is market for the hay? Those are to you, to Mohammed. While Jennifer, you can be looking at the ICT and market. And Mohammed?
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for the questions. The hay is produced for their livestock production. It's actually produced for their livestock, but the surplus is always sold. And if we talk of the market, I think especially during the dry spell, there's a lot of demand for hay around this area, except for Mandera East and Mandera North, where we have the Daua River. The other sub-counties of Mandera are highly dry, purely dry. They don't have even the river. So there's a lot of demand for hay from those areas, and sometimes farmers do transport their hay to all those areas, or those pastoralists come for their hay to especially Ramu to buy them. So there's a market for the hay from the area. Sometimes it is transported as far as Wajir and even Moyale. And the issue of integration of other service providers, yes, they are integrated. The veterinary are working with us. There's even the Department of Veterinary and Livestock Production here. There are no much service providers on input supply. Our farmers normally source the seeds as far as Nairobi and those areas. There are no input suppliers around. There's no agrovets around. And the issue of sustainability, these farmers were given grants to start this program. After that, they have started savings. They also have some table bankings, and they're involved in a lot of saving. So I think after the exit of the program, it's still there's continuity of the field school. Thank you.
Thank you. The last one is on CMDRR. How was it integrated? You had mentioned something on CMDR, but was it through special topic, or what was your experience and lessons learned on how to handle CMDRR?
Yeah, I've said at the beginning of the Farmer Field School, we have established CMDRR committees, that is. They have been trained. The committees have been trained on CMDRR. Then as the sessions go on, farmers used to be trained on CMDRR, how they should come, they should overcome the disaster risk through the special topics. Thank you.
Welcome. Madam Jennifer, ICT, what extension approach is used in the Gambia? And secondly, I saw a question on, yes, youth digitals, how are their FFS working with ICT providers, especially on marketing? Over to you.
Thank you. I will say, as far as ICT is concerned, the development is still weak. Maybe they're just starting on. Apart from these phones which they are using, they are not very well equipped as far as that one is concerned. So what I did, I took the trouble to bring one of their coordinators on our East African hub, because I realized it is a gap. So she is on this East African hub, so she can borrow a leaf from East Africa. Just like you said that some of the things we learn from them and others they learn from us. Thank you.
Welcome. Dr. Mutungi, you can say a word instead of just clapping digitally.
Okay, I just wanted to contribute a bit to the question that Baha Nguma was asking Mohammed, and basically about the integration of CMDRR and how it was done. And I would just like to add on to what Mohammed has said. Normally in the facilitator training, we ensure that the topic of CMDRR is delivered to the participants of to the facilitators, former field school facilitators. This is because when you look at the topic of CMDRR, especially in marginal areas, is just equivalent, almost the same. The activities that are being undertaken are basically almost the same as the ones for ground working. And because CMDRR is basically a planning tool, at the end of it, you'll come out with exactly what you want to do. So we ensure that CMDRR is delivered to the facilitators right from the start, so that they can be able to practice it as they start initiating and running the field school groups. Over.
Thank you so much, Daktari. Three things I can carry from these presentations. Mohammed's presentation, very effective community decision-making processes in place, a good mix and blend of women and youth in agropastoralism. And looking at Jennifer's presentation, evidence of teamwork and coordination from government, FAO, and communities, consistent training needs and attention, and the federation, that is a clustering of farmers, making them into networks. Those are some of the things that we really need to carry on. But there's a question in the chat box. Can you mention something on major challenges faced and how were they managed? This is just open to both Mohammed and Jennifer. Any major challenge that you faced and how did you manage it? Over to you. This time we can start.
Let me start.
Okay, Mohammed.
On the issue of major challenges, the concept of field school was new to our people here. So we started with 30 and they started dropping. So dropping was our major challenge, and the few who remained, they're also reluctant in replicating what they have learned in the field school. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Jennifer?
I don't know where my slide is, but I think I highlighted those challenges on my slide, but there is no harm. I can still share what is not on the slide. For example, like everywhere, people expect handouts. There's a part on challenges on that slide. So the farmers, they want to be given hose, they want...
Challenge is weakness.
Okay, maybe. Those are some of the challenges that we have: poor marketing, the diseases, the usual. Plus, I should mention there's the handouts. The moment you form the group and they see a big FAO vehicle, they will tell you, we want hose. We have no pangas. That one is there. And then also education is a problem. Most of them cannot read and write. I'll say that. And then there's, like everywhere, there is political involvement, not interference, but involvement. I think that is what I'll say for now.
How about language? The Gambia is basically an English-speaking, Gambia, Sierra Leone, they are English speakers in the midst of French speakers. How are you able to manage this? Even for
currently, it is Senegal that is in French. Otherwise, these are the ones, it is English. So we're really at home. And maybe those who don't know English can still speak broken English and Creole. There's a language which is in between English and the local language. You say you they come, Papa God, that kind of English. So you can still pick.
Okay.
Yes.
So members, I think for Oscar's presentation, he wanted to present from a vehicle, and it's a challenge. So we will reschedule it for next week or for the preceding meeting. So I will just want to, if there's no further question, I wanted to give Max this opportunity to speak a word or two. But if you have a burning question, please put it in the chat box. Max, over to you. And we have the challenge of
Edwin.
federation. We have a challenge of federation. You are now a federal president.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The global, you know, when you're a global leader, you have to be, but sorry for delayed entry to the PPO headquarters on a small day to catch up quickly, very early. Otherwise, I'm very impressed with the presentations again today from Mohammed and Jennifer. Thank you so much for sparing your time. In fact, when I was listening, I was like, I think we are the strongest network fraternity that could do a lot of things together. The challenge, like we mentioned the other time, has been how we can come together as a group. And if we did come together, I think it would be like a broom, that small pieces of brooms. When you put them together, you can't break. So I implore all of us to continue with this networking and the partnership, building our network together. The East African Field School hub is ours. And if we bring all these experiences, I think we shall be good to go. The other thing that I was wondering is that, you know, when I looked at the pictures that Mohammed was putting, wonderful ones and then I said, how can we be able to document this? I think this is a role that the hub should take very strongly to link up with different projects and different stakeholders that are implementing field schools, and we could do the documentation and showcase. Let's pray COVID is over, so that we have a day which we should call East Africa Field School Day. So that we need to come together with all this experience. I think we should be able to shake the region. And I am praying for this opportunity to come soon so that we can put the little resources together. We come for an exhibition of what really field schools are doing. There's a lot. And people's livelihoods are changed by the actors of the field school. But sometimes when you go to the policymakers, they find it difficult to understand what we're doing. But if we put this together and we brought these policymakers, I think they will be able to hold us along. So I thank all of you, and let's continue networking. And these Wednesday meetings are very critical to learn from each other. When you are called, please prepare any experiences and be also proactively ask if you can present anything that you have. It is an open forum for all of us, and we shall appreciate your continued support and participation. Thank you, and good day. Keep safe, keep networked.
Well, thank you. Everybody put on your cameras so that we can be able to see you, and we have our last picture. This is the finishing 13. We were 21, number dropped off, but this is commendable. Sylvia, we need to see you.
That's the answer kazi hata kidogo, you know. We need you to move very fast, you know. And now I see the Jennifer started, Baha started. We are looking for Pio to get digitalized. You know, Pio is still sending me emails that he can't do this.
We are waiting for Brenda and Sylvia.
We need to bring Pio on board strongly.
Yeah. Actually, she'll present next next Wednesday.
Yeah, because he has
Brenda?
a lot of experience from Karamoja, where, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Put on your best smile, everybody.
Haha. FFS.
Yes. You look lovely. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
All the best.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Edwin, thanks for the moderation.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope it has gone well. Indeed, it has gone well. Brenda,
It
are you
has
on
gone-
board? You are not being seen.
I managed
Brenda.
to get hold of her, I think, yeah?
Yes, she came on board, but she's not on the video.
Yet.
Oh, she's here. But she's in a dark room. You don't have light or what?
Is it possible to just to have a small meeting with Baha, Thomas, Biashara, and Jennifer?
Hey, okay.
Where's Nathan?
So perhaps we
Where's
can
Nathan?
exit.
Even Brenda.
Nathan.
Where is Nathan?
Nathan has exited. Let me also exit now.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Your
Thank you,
pictures,
thank you.
I need most of them, by the way, even more.
So I will send you more.
And you're giving me a reason to come to Mandera between now and December.
We were waiting for you.
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Nathan is missing, eh? So Freddie, Jennifer, Baha, Jen Biashara. So, Brenda.
You can send him a message on WhatsApp.
Okay. So can we proceed? Let me look for Nathan. So Baha.
Yes, please.
Maybe you can set it off, you and Jennifer. Jennifer done an inception report, and you had some comments.
I didn't see that inception report though. Yeah.
It was not shared.
No.
Wow. My apologies to that.
Okay, I will be waiting then.
So,
but
maybe
yes.
just general comments. Has everybody signed the contract?
Yes, I have from my end.
Yes, I have on my end.
My hand received, but I haven't signed to send back. We'll be doing that.
It informed you'll be given 6,000 USD, being the honorarium 5 and 1,000 for transport. But somebody in procurement changed the rules and said you'll be given a flat rate of $200 per day for 10 days every month for the next 3 months. Still comes to the same, but it's the issue that I wanted to know from Mark and from about.
We're losing you.
Sorry, about accountability. So I'm just wondering, is it okay with you with the current terms, 200 flat rate? Because what I didn't want is somebody to start saying they want a receipt of where you slept, how many liters of water you drank. That one, I don't think it will be micromanaging.
I don't even think that there is room for that. From that contract, it's like that money is for everything, and there's nothing like you giving out any receipt.
No, but I have to send an invoice.
Sorry?
You know, you're supposed to send an invoice.
Yeah.
That for this month,
money you've used.
I'm invoicing you. I need you to pay me $2,000. And you state 10 working days, blah, blah, blah. They might want a small report on the 10 working days, just like one page. I visited the field school A, B, Then I had a video conference with the facilitators. Then I documented a good practice, just like that.
Which is okay, but when it comes to the issue of monies, you see, like I was asking, and you can see even from the contract, there is nothing like DSA.
Yes.
There's nothing like travel. So what are you giving? So I thought what will be required if you want to be paid, you simply send the worksheet plus the report.
Yes. It's pegged on an inception report.
No, even as we move forward in the next month, and I've done an exercise, the money that I'm given is lump sum.
Yes.
In the contract, there is no indication of how much is DSA. They said it's not applicable. Even travel is not applicable. So what I am supposed to be invoicing will be giving them the number of days I have worked. 10 days, I need $2,000, period. Unless
that's a challenge because you still need to travel. There's some money for fuel.
Travel. We will travel. Yeah. We will definitely travel. But now, maybe you have an experience, Edwin, because for me, I really don't understand that I'm expected to give. How much am I spending for DSA? How much am I spending for communication? These are the things that we wanted to be guided.
It was not clear, but your honorarium was supposed to be $5,000. Initially,
the total honorarium, yes.
Yeah. The $1,000 was supposed to be for your travel, your DSA, fuel.
Yes. So this is what they expect, but it's not stated.
For accounting purposes, because of procurement, they just want to say they paid you lump sum per day.
Now,
whether you went out or not, so long as you did the job, they will pay you that lump sum.
I hear you. Now, what you are saying is not on paper, that 10,000 is supposed to be for this.
No, it is not on paper.
Yes. So what will be the best thing for us to do? For me, I thought when it comes to the end of the month, I will simply submit a worksheet for approval and my report. And what do I expect? I expect $2,000. And I will not be submitting any travel documents, although I will have traveled.
No, there'll be a worksheet that you are supposed to submit.
Yes.
Allow me to share something. I think let me look for it. There's a worksheet they prepare. But let me show you. Give me a minute. This is May, September. It's just that the whole thing was hurried up. We could have engaged you people for more than even 6 months. Okay, look at, let me share my screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
View page width, view page width. Biashara and Freddy, can you see that?
Yeah,
you can now unmute your microphones. This is just normal engagement. So this is my worksheet for September. What I did, and a full day is considered 8 to 5 or 8 hours. So you can do half a day, a quarter a day. At the end of it all, you should have the total number of days. Like for me in September, I worked for 15 days. Can you see that? Hello?
So Edwin, this is what I was saying. This is what I need to submit.
Yeah. Then you will submit with a normal invoice. I'm looking for another invoice also.
Yes, yes, I agree.
You just submit with an invoice.
Yes.
Let me share. I think one I should be having on my desktop. So those ones I can guide you on. What I wanted is that okay from Max and the procurement. How are we going to now? Like you see, let me open this one. You are asked for your banking details, eh? So for me now, that's my invoice. I've invoiced them, the number of days I've worked, the rate and everything. So what I wanted is the whole month, this first month, how are you going to be paid the 2,000? Meaning you might not have gone to the field so many days, but to give you that head start that you can now start moving. That's what I wanted to find out, because just writing an inception report and planning will just take you 2 days. Well, how will you account for the other 8 days? Hello?
Edwin?
Yes?
The contract is quite clear. The first batch of money will come when you submit an inception report and giving your work plan. That's all.
So I wish that one was clarified by Max. I'm trying to, it's telling me it's going.
No, it is in the contract unless we will not be going by the contract. I don't know.
I never saw your contract. I just saw your signing pages.
No,
so now, what we can do, Brenda, can you hear me, Brenda?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Follow up with Max and Wanzala with Paddy. Because they should be paid their first lump sum when they are going to the field. After, they'll submit an inception report with a work plan and a few other things that they might have added. But they should be able to be paid their first lump sum without questions. Is that okay, Brenda?
So what should I ask Paddy and Max?
The approval, because for them to be paid this money, for them to travel, they need money to travel. They need money for communication. So right now, they're only working from their homes. I'm assuming they don't have any money. Even Biashara is not having any money. Freddie is not having any money. So I'm assuming nobody has money, even Jennifer. They need to do an inception report, a work plan. They will have coordinated with the people in the field where they want to go. And then they will submit an invoice. Each one of them is supposed to be paid 2,000 for the first 10 days of this month of October. After they've been paid, the rest might be easy. November and December will be easy. It's the issue of the first payment. It has to be done probably by next week. Yeah. Members, Baha?
Yes. Let me just.
I think, Kendrin, that is fair enough, because I was wondering that are we supposed to run in the field with the logistics and then we come back and claim? Clear to me, but according to how you put it, it's very clear, and at least it's humane. Then the other question I'll be asking, is there a format of this inception report that you have that we need to, that's the format that we are supposed to follow when reporting?
To answer your second question, I'll share the inception report that was done by Jennifer. I'd put a few comments on it. I'll just share it to all of you. Then you adapt it appropriately, individually. For the people in Kenya, for Jen, Biashara, and Daniel, I'll give you the contacts of all the facilitators in the counties. But we will plan on where you want to go. We had already started doing this one with Baha. Maybe then Biashara, I not talk to you into that discussion. We can follow it up later on. For Thomas, you just have one project and those areas. Jennifer, you have two projects. There's micro irrigation, and then there's that other one for World Bank. So you will develop a work plan based on how you've communicated with those project managers. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Which we will also assist you.
Okay.
Hello?
Edwin?
Yes?
I hope Yashara, as she talks to the colleagues at AFAS, she will make reference to the contract document, page 3, which says payment conditions. A, consultancy fees shall be paid in 3 equal installments as follows. First installment, upon submission of inception report and detailed methodology and work plan, that is US dollars 2,000 by the 31st of October 2020.
Yeah.
So I think the issue here is this money supposed to be paid ASAP, or it's gonna wait for the 31st?
No,
But
by means, even if you submit today,
they can pay.
They can pay.
Or they will pay. Fine, because this doesn't really require anybody to go to the field. It's a matter of the how to do it and the work plan, and that's it.
Okay.
But kindly share those documents so that we can be able to know worksheet in Hivyo, the invoice is supposed to be like this.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to be recording this. You guys should have told me to stop. Brenda, you should be an admin.
Oh my God.